everybody.
Hello, hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Settler's Path. I am Steelheart, and with me tonight, I have Streeg. Say hello, Streeg.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Streeg.
And I have Tsetsuko.
Hello.
And tonight we're going to talk about customization.
Hey, what about me? I'm on here too.
Oh, and we have our producer, Dashivah, hiding in the background.
No,
there
no,
he is.
I'm right there.
I see
look,
you.
oh.
Hey, Dash. Hi. Tonight I'm filling in for Cannon. As like many of y'all, we all have other jobs we got to do, and Cannon's out doing his job right now. So I guess that means I'm not doing a very good job. But anyway, I'm here. So recently, a video was released on customization in WildStar, and it was a really good video. Dash, do we have that somewhere?
We do.
Welcome to WildStar. This is DevSpeak. Yeah, we got a disclaimer. So folks have been asking for it, and we've listened. Cue the music. That's nice. So, I can admit it. I'm a bit of a fussy pants. I like to put my personal touch on everything. That's why, in WildStar, we've tried to take every aspect of the game experience and make it customizable. We built our core features around this idea. Because let's be real here for a sec. It's all about customization. Now you all know me as professional, but I'm going to make me a brand new all here. And her name is Kabuya. I want that one. No. That one. Hold up. Personal touch time. I think it's pretty clear Kabuya is a settler. Yep, definitely. So that's character creation. What about the actual game? Obviously, we've got housing. Oh, was that not obvious? Yeah, it's pretty robust. This sky needs a little more rainbow. But what I care about are my stats. That's why I can customize any item over level 15. This sword needs more insight. Kaboom! We've also got a crafting system, and it's pretty deep. Do you like to warrior? Well, you better choose how you're gonna warrior. Your action set forces you to customize your combat style constantly. I think I'll pull up my threat mitigation long-range taunt set for this one. Except for this one ability. Then, you've got your class stat customization. We call it amps. Maybe you'd like to get some support. A little utility, and one assault. Now, some people like to look different. I like my armor, but I want it to look like this. Or a hazmat suit. Like riding around on your hoverboard? How about like this? That's right.
Chad, turn off your mic.
What is, man? Oh yeah, war plots. That thing where you build and customize an entire battle fortress. We'll talk about that later. So, we've got a website. It's got info. And let us know your fussy pants desires via social media. The devs are listening.
Okay, so how about those Chua balls?
Well, if that doesn't make you want to if it doesn't make you want to play a Chua, it's going to make you want to at least kick one around a little bit. You know, as usual, the videos are top notch. They've got just enough humor and plenty of information in them to really captivate you. Even the rolling pre-credits disclaimer that there were posts on Twitter or tweets on Twitter about that they actually had a lot of some PvP information in them, which we'll get to at another cast. And we'll dissect those, or these guys will. But first and foremost, obviously the first thing that we see when we get into a game is going to be the character creation. That's where we get to make, well, basically our little mini-me's. So, Streeg, what do you think of the character creation? How do you like that? Is that going to satisfy what you want from a game?
Well, it's I think so. I think so. I mean, if you watch that video, I mean, he kind of flew through a whole lot of things on that one character. It looks like an awful lot there, which I'm kind of hoping for. I know there was, we've been talking back and forth probably for a few weeks now, hoping that the certain things like hairstyles or color, different options, that there would be a whole bunch of options there at release. I know we've seen a whole bunch of videos out there on YouTube where they seemed a little bit more limited. Obviously, you can see by the video, man, the customization, even after you create your character, between the gear and the costumes and stuff is going to be there to give yourself kind of a unique look. But I am hoping that there is maybe a few more than what I've seen on the YouTube videos, at least for the basic stuff. I don't care much about the sliders. I don't know if you guys, how you feel about that, but I've played a lot of MMOs, and I tell you, those sliders, I don't see much of a difference. And when you like playing in third person and your character's like this big or something, I don't really see any difference from those sliders, so I don't usually worry about them. But you know, if I can get that big spiky hair that sticks right out or something, then I'm all for it.
But you don't want to go bald?
Well, I just might. It'll probably have to come down to which character I play. If I go human, I might have to go bald. If I go space zombie,
Makari,
then,
Draken, if you go Dominion.
No, that won't happen. But yeah, the more Dash, you know, I can definitely see maybe a mohawk or something for those guys, for sure.
No doubt. What about you, Seth? What do you think of the character? Does it grab you? Does it just kind of like pull you in?
I hate sliders.
I am not alone then.
I don't like sliders. The reason that I don't like sliders, and that's the thing that I've seen in the WildStar customization videos. Okay, so there's only sliders for the face, so that's what you can mess with. And everything else, you know, you're just picking your hairstyle, your hair color, what face do you want, blah, 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 blah. You can only use sliders on the face. Part of the reason for that is they want their characters to have a distinguished, like, PvP silhouette. So, you know, if you see this off in the distance, you know, oh, that's a Granok, because they have that shape. But the reason that I'm not a big fan of sliders is because I don't feel like they do enough most of the time. Like, the sliders are in there, and you go in, and you're like, okay, I'm going to adjust the chin width, and it's like...
yeah.
So
it looks great when you're like this.
Yeah, so I mean, I can kind of see, like, to me, the only thing that sliders really do is give people the chance to make really awkward, like, faces that don't look normal. Because if you're making a fairly normal face, no one's really going to notice that you used a slider to make your chin a centimeter too small. So I like the customization options. I don't know. I look at these videos and I go, why? Why is there a slider on the face? You know?
Now, Dash, are you a slider man?
I honestly, to me, like, the only options that even matter are, like, the hair or, like, the accessories, like, on your ears, or if you have different ears or different horns and stuff, because other than that, when you're looking at most of the characters, most of the time, those are the only things you notice. You're not like, oh, I noticed that person's chin width, or they had the longer nose, or they chose the bigger eyes, or whatever. Like, you can't see all that. You're never that close looking at someone's face to notice a difference for each and every character. And so, to me, there seems to be plenty of hair color and hair choices and everything, because once you get in the game, the only thing you're noticing is people's armor and people's swords and shields and everything else, and maybe their hairstyle, right? And that's about it.
Now, you see, I'm a slider man. I
Really?
Definitely, oh yeah, absolutely.
How do you like to slide it?
I like to slide it wide, man. I'm the type of person that when I'm creating a character, I like to have a little more squarish jaw or chin. And most of the time, most of these presets are the pointy oval. Let's see if I can get this. Not quite.
Not the
But,
butt chin, not the butt chin.
Yeah, the pointy chins, and I like more of a square chin. In addition to that, I always think the noses on the presets are too big. Not that I have a small nose personally, but I always think they're too big. So I like to kind of flare it out a little bit and suck it in a little bit. In addition to that, just really like you said, the horns, the accessories, and stuff. But I'm definitely a slider man, and I remember watching the ESO character customization video and actually feeling a little overwhelmed as they were going through it with so much sliding. But I still was geeking out in a slider sort of way. But I'm sorry about that. Never fear. Somebody probably texting me and saying, "Hey, don't talk about sliders like that."
I will say though, like there's a couple of things that I really do like having sliders available on, and that's like horn. Like if you got horns, horn size, or if your character is one of the characters that has like big ears, like in the case of the Auron. So you've got the huge bunny ears. Like I'm someone who likes to have a slider for that because I will always make them as small as possible because I don't like I don't want a Chewa with huge elephant ears. So just shrink them down.
What's wrong with a Chewa with elephant ears?
I feel that same way with the Mordesh. They kind of have those elvish, pointy ears, and they kind of like stick out like this. And
right, you just want
to. I want to like flatten them, kind of like hide them, and say, look, I don't have weird, funky, elvish ears or something, and make them small. And,
Yep.
But yeah, for stuff like that, I love sliders. I mean, the ones that some of the other games where you could put them on the
I like
on
tiny
the whole
burgers
body,
too.
on the body, where you can make like the arms like drag across the ground and little short stubby legs and something a little bit noticeable. But I'm with Set with the facial features. I don't. Well, I never would because all I see is the back of my head, anyways. So
That's true.
Now, of course, everybody has seen the demos for the character creations, from the multiple different types of ears the Aurons can have to the different faces that the Granox can have, and of course there's always the Chewa. But how about the housing? What do y'all think of the housing and customization? What do you personally want to see in housing?
Yeah, I'll take this one. I've been hitting every video that I could since, I don't know, like years now, it seems like. But they did some pretty extensive housing previews at a couple of the game conferences. And, you can find these videos out there. But they just showed all the different stuff that you could do. And it's really just... It's crazy, like you get a plot, you've got a house. Inside your house, it's literally just a playroom. I mean, you could take anything. You could take a chair and make it float in the middle of your living room if you wanted. And then you can jump on that chair, so I know they've already posted the like the housing contests type stuff that they've had going on where people just made all kinds of crazy things. And personally, I'm not someone who... I don't feel like I'm going to go into the house, the inside of the house, and make it all fancy and everything like that. I'm someone who will like throw in a cool item here or there, just be like, hey, look at this stuff I have, but not design like 3-4 level craziness. I'm someone, I like the stuff you can do on the outside that's, I guess, more practical. You've seen them have the little, like the garden, where you can actually go plant seeds and harvest herbs to use in your different recipes and stuff. So me personally, I want to see a lot of exterior stuff. I want to be able to like change the walls or put huge signs on my house, that kind of stuff. That's what interests me the most.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on the use thing as far as the garden and stuff like that. Maybe some sort of crafting or something. I've always been in different games when it came to housing. What can I use in here? EverQuest 2, you could have crafting tables and little things you clicked on to port to here, to there, to here. So to me, housing was more of a, I'm going to go here and use something than, oh, gee, look, I have a floating chair, because, I guess there's people who enjoy floating chairs. So they've gotten into or showed a little bit about the item customization. And it seems pretty standard for games nowadays. Streeg, what's your thoughts on the item customization?
You're referring to, I'm assuming, like the swords and stuff that they had in the video type customization. Yeah, that's really kind of standard stuff. I think that part, and they also hit the part on the action bar, which of course is customizable. But I mean, that's nothing new that we haven't seen
Since
a million times already.
Began.
Yeah, pretty much.
So as far as the weapons and stuff, that's nothing new. I think it's good to have. I think they have to have that, but I'm not shocked or blown away by anything. I did notice that they mentioned with along the lines of item customization is your wardrobe, where they're going to have a costume section, and you can basically put any type of gear by the sounds of it. So if you're a caster that wears a robe and you want to walk around in full plate mail, it sounds like you can throw that on there. So that part I think is kind of cool. I mean, I've always liked playing some caster type classes, but the clothies, the robe type classes, all of them look the same except for the slightly different color. Where the big, heavy metal wearing classes always seem to have these cool shoulder pads and spikes and all these cool graphics to it. So I was always envious of the plate wearers. So this kind of gives us a chance to say, okay, I'm playing a little skirt wearer, but I can at least make my character look cool for a while when I'm not in PvP anyways. So
well, maybe some people like to wear a skirt.
Yeah, well,
We are all wearing skirts right now.
whatever the Dominions want to do, they're all for it. Whatever.
But it is comfortable, at least a comfort factor to me to see the the skirt. It's comfortable.
I feel so free right now.
But it's a comfort factor for me to have the ability to, be able to portray what I want other people to see my character as, and even as far as the weapons and increasing stats, and you saw in the video is making it more insight or more moxie or what have you. The availability's there to customize that way as well. Now, one of the neat things, and we've seen this in many other games, but the the amps. The amp system looks really, really interesting, and I haven't personally seen any videos that really went in depth in the amp. So either I'm missing them or that's a higher level thing that they're not showing.
They showed kind of what they have on some of the live streams. Just it's your base. To me, it's just your basic. What would you say?
Like talent points.
Yeah, talents or AA system.
AAs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's exactly like that from like EverQuest. You're just choosing the path that you want to go down, and
So you could have, like, if you're a tank, maybe a little more health going down one, and possibly a little more threat or defense or whatever. See, I like stuff like that. I think that's
it's just like the little things about your tune. It's like the little things about your tune that you get to customize, and so you might be a tank, but you might have eventually they'll have stuff online where you pick the best amps or whatever for being the best tank this way or whatever, but it's just that little bit more that you get to customize, right, about your character that wasn't in there this summer. Remember when they almost like rebooted pretty much everything? That was one of the things they added to make everything more customizable, to make your character more defined, was the amps, and so it's just one more little thing that you get to do.
Yep, that's good. And stuff like that really And like you said, they're gonna have it. Well, the best amp set for the warrior will be this, but at least they have the ability between everything for people to customize and make their characters individual to them.
You know, I'm someone who likes to see those builds. This is the best build for warrior, tank, or whatever, just so that I can go do something else and then do that job just as well as the person, you know, who says this is the best method. You know,
And
to me
I've
it's a
seen that.
challenge.
I've
So-
seen that.
Oh yeah,
I've seen people do that.
Yep.
And that's great because it always breaks that mold, which is awesome. I hate playing a cookie cutter
Yeah.
build.
Yep.
I've never used rotations in my tanking. When I tank, I would always be more of a reactive tank that did this, I'm doing this, and I tanked just fine. But I know people who used rotations, and that's what they did, and they did really well at it. I just never could use rotations. But that's another cast.
Rotations.
Now, I've seen something in here in this video that I
Wait,
think
are we moving on from item customization?
kind of.
Because you skipped the die system, man. Didn't you see that in there?
Oh, the
Oh, the
armor.
die system.
The dies.
Armor.
See, I'm not a die man.
Oh.
Well, see,
Yeah, but you're a slider man, but you're not a die
I'm a
man.
slider
Oh,
man, but
man.
not a die man.
Man.
I'm on the fence. You know, like I love the way they did it in Guild Wars 2. You know, Guild Wars
Yeah,
2,
yeah, me
basically,
too.
you unlock the color of the die, and then you had it. You just had it on that character forever. And you could just go in and whatever colors you had, you could, you know, set your armor up that way, and it was great. The thing that I don't like that I think WildStar is actually doing, from what I can tell, is it's one of those systems where you unlock a die, then you have to make the die, then you consume the die, then if you want to dye something else, you got to go make the die again, consume the die again. I just hate systems like that. I think
And I
that's
will
what they're doing.
remain not a die man.
I probably won't pick it up in WildStar
I
just
will.
for that reason. You know,
I will. I gotta have all that black dye because
you're a
I'm a
ninja.
ninja.
You know, I played I've played many of these games, and it never fails. I know one lady that's gamed with us for years, and she will be pink. Everything about her will be pink, and not only will it be pink, it will be the most atrocious looking pink you've ever seen in your life, with shades of more atrocious pink. But that's what she likes, so more power to her. I'm not a die man. I'm an old EverQuest 1 player where we all walked around looking like patchwork kings. So
Well, but they had sets in EQ.
they did have sets.
You had all bronze. You looked bronze. You know.
But if you saw somebody that looked bronze, what were they wearing?
yeah, bronze shirt.
You saw somebody that had
steel
the bluish,
pants,
steel blue color armor. What was that? Cobalt
rubicite,
or
or
rubicite.
cobalt.
Cobalt.
Yes.
Yeah.
cobalt.
You know, so you knew what people had. And that's just me.
Yeah.
And
I'm posting a picture of her character right now. You'll see it in a few seconds, but but I'll take it down. But
You found
yeah, I found it. I found it. But yeah.
Awesome. Little
So,
bit
yeah.
of delay, so bear with us. I gotta say this.
Okay. I already took it off, but you'll see it. You'll see it in a second.
That's it. That's the color pink. Awesome. All right. Now, what I was going to say earlier was one of the things that I saw in this video that I really like, and I don't remember if I've seen this in another game or not. It seems I have, but I really don't recollect the mount customization. When I saw what they could do with that hoverboard, I was like, ooh, that is cool.
Really? Because I just focused on the spinning ramen bowl that you could put on someone's
Oh,
head.
man. I saw that little skateboard turn into this huge little hover thing with wings, and I was like,
Rockets
man,
and
that is
everything.
neat.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I could find it. My favorite.
See,
my favorite part
just-
of the whole video.
I just got excited about that T-Rex looking mount that they had in there. I was talking about it on the
That's
last
cool,
cast
too.
I was on. Dinosaurs and lasers.
But look at that.
Now he mentioned in
Chew
there
a ball
that
though.
chewable.
Dinosaur you could put on like the saddlebags or something. I wonder if they are just for looks or if you actually get like extra inventory slots on your mount or something.
Well, that would be pretty neat. We've seen games that you could put saddlebags on your mount and it added inventory space. And we have seen games like that, so that would be really neat. So as far as the chewable is concerned, though, if you want to add space to that, do you put like food on top of it, or
It's
do
got
you
the ramen on it.
or you just throw it in the ball and let it spin around with it? Somebody punch you across the plains.
I love it.
Oh, I know. I was like, how cool is the chewable? It's like
Right where the hamsters belong.
But you know what? For somebody who's on a fence about either Chewer or Granick, I'll tell you I'm leaning a little more Chewer, because how cool is it to have a chewable?
what if you could put a Granick in the chewable?
In the chewable.
Be really cramped.
It'd be really cramped. So the last thing they showed was they gave us a little war plot tease. That was pretty cool. That's going to be really, really neat.
They got to put some details out on that, man, because it just, like they say the like mobile fortress thing, and like if you looked at it, you saw how they were laying it out. It's like you had like your own, like sort of walled in town kind of thing, is what it looked like, and you were putting different, like modules. It kind of looked like, they have that plug system, so I'm guessing you put different plugs in. But my question is, like, in the war plot, how do those interact? If you have a town and they have a town, are you guys supposed to run into each other's towns? And
that's what I was trying to figure out from the picture. It almost looked like, if you watch the video, it almost looked like that big thing was actually two plots with like a neutral zone in the middle.
In the middle?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, because I kept looking at it, trying to think, is this like one big war plot, or is this like the battleground type thing, and one side is one guy's place and the other side's the other team's place, and then you got that little square in the middle. So that's
I mean, if
almost
it
what
was
I'm thinking.
it was split in half, it just didn't look like there'd be that much stuff to customize based on what they showed.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. I'm like,
Carbine
well,
and their secrets.
Yeah,
it won't be for long. We don't have long for this game to launch. It's coming out in the next 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, I'm sure. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Based on the polish we're seeing in some of the beta videos they're showing, and based on the information from the developers and the videos they're showing, this game appears to be a very polished game. So hopefully we're seeing maybe, and I'm not equating this to Star Wars The Old Republic, but as far as completion factor at launch, it wasn't bad and it ran smoothly.
Yeah.
So, it's looking like this could very well be close to the same thing.
one of the smoother releases I'm expecting than most of the MMOs these days.
As long as they can get the server stuff right,
They should. They should. It's
yeah, we haven't even had like open beta or anything yet, so we'll see how how those.
Oh, we'll crash it first off when they say, "Okay, everybody jump in." It'll go right down. But that's good. We want to see that, because the more we crash the server in open beta, the more information they get, and the more they can adjust everything to make it handle that load. Because when this game launches, it is going to be just a madhouse getting in there. And let's just hope no queues.
Gotta get that head start, man.
Gotta get that head start.
Pre-order
Absolutely. Now, a dev blog came out recently, and they talked a little bit about guilds, and I am all for guilds.
Are you
to
still?
me, oh, absolutely.
I thought you were anti-guild.
No. Matter of fact, I don't think games nowadays go far enough to cater to guilds and to promote the overall desire for people to feel not have to, but feel the need to be in a guild to accomplish things together.
Yeah, because everything's so much solo oriented now. Like you can do almost anything by yourself besides going into an instance or going into a raid. That's it.
Well, I got into a beta for a game recently, and I won't go into details about it, but basically the game made me feel like a solo player playing alongside thousands of other solo players at the same time. It didn't even feel like I was playing a game that people needed to group together to play, much less be in a guild. So
Like most
You can
MMOs anymore.
you can talk about World of Warcraft on here. It's okay.
no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh.
We have two very strong guilds in World of Warcraft, and they are very happy. But that was wrong. But what based on the dev blog, what do y'all do you feel like they're going in the right direction here?
I don't think there's any doubt. I mean, if you look at last week's thing where they talked about the whole, what's that? Help me, guys. Where you get points for grouping and stuff.
Renown.
Not renown.
Guild
Renown
influence?
is for yourself.
Influence.
Thank you.
Influence. That's right.
Influence. That's the word I was looking for. They got that influence there that says, hey, you can have a guild that doesn't do anything together, but you know what? You're not getting any of the perks. You get nothing. I mean, that's if you want the perks that go along with actually having a guild, then you're going to have to group up and you're going to have to get influence so that you can buy those perks. And you see stuff like that, and they come right out and say, hey, if you don't want to do that, you're not getting it, and we don't care.
Good.
Which is awesome. Which is awesome. This is exactly what you want to hear. So this is definitely looking real good for me.
Now, Dash, you were going to say something?
Oh, I was gonna say just by what they had in that blog, it seems like they're doing a lot more than most games now do. Usually it's just a chat room, right? Or it's just it's a tab you bring up and you can see who's in the guild, and that's basically it. But I remember, to me, one of my favorite guild, what would you call it, tabs or systems was EverQuest 2. Just how much they had that you can involve the guild with, and this seems like it's going in that same direction with the influence and the perks that you get and the unlocks that you get. And so maybe there could be more, and I wish there was more, but it seems like a good start, right, from a launching game that it has all this already in it.
EverQuest 2 really did their guild functions right in that game. They put a lot of thought into it, and today, as far as released games, I feel that EverQuest 2 is actually one of the better games at promoting guilds. They've done a real good job on it.
Yeah, but this seems like it has almost kind of the same thing with like the influence and everything. Like, so stuff you do earns you points in the guild, and it's reasons to stay in the guild that you've built up all this influence. Hopefully it's not too easy to build up influence and everything. But I remember you used to log into EQ2 and you see how many status points someone had in the guild, and you're like, oh, that person is cool. And you could lose all that. You could lose all that if you left the guild and went somewhere else.
But they did fix that eventually.
Yeah,
they quit punishing guilds for people leaving.
And that was terrible. That was terrible.
What about you, Sid? How do you feel about it?
It's a tiring issue for me. It's I gotta wait and see how it turns out. Honestly, I mean, I'm all for making guilds a big deal, but for me, it needs to offer thing. I don't know, you see the influence thing and the fact that they were talking about the guild perks, like they said here, guild-wide buffs and stuff like that. Those are they're boring to me. Okay, we're gonna use our guild influence and unlock a 10% more gold drops for everybody in the guild. I'm just like, I don't care.
See, I can see that. I would like to see, all right, you gain so much influence and you can open up a raid boss just for guilds that's gonna drop items that are on par with raid bosses at that level.
Yeah, then it gives you that incentive to be like, okay, we need to get more influence, and then it's actually a benefit that everybody wants. It's like, you're not going to get 2 more copper with your
or to give you the ability to purchase a special teleporter that you click on and go to a special, lack of a better word, dungeon that's just for guilds. You know, something like that, or a world.
Or even if they could take, you know, I mean, I think they're gonna head this direction, you know, to have like not guild housing. I don't want guild housing. Players have housing. I want something cool for guilds that will, you know, like just a communal gathering area that you guys can build with influence, you know. So yeah, maybe, you know, because that's the thing about housing, individual housing in WildStar. Sure, you can do all kinds of stuff inside your house, but you have plugs. You know, they've shown the plugs. The plugs aren't unlimited. You can't put everything onto your housing plot. You know, I would like to see a giant, you know, guild plot where your guild can sort of have like this central hub where you can get everything that you need. So maybe you don't have a crafting station on your house, but your guild, you know, with the influence that you've earned, you've built these crafting
or
stations.
Or hey, maybe be able to move your house to the guild plot. Wouldn't that be cool?
That's what I
friendly guild neighbor.
Your house is a plug.
See like some big giant island with a guild house and castle and plots and then somehow have like little bridges going to the guild members' personal properties and kind of have it like a floating city. That's what I had always hoped to see.
All right, that's what needs to happen.
That's what needs to happen. Streeg said so let it be so. Now,
buffs are boring. You know?
I don't know what all the things they have planned for this guild incentives and this influence, but I do agree with you. If all they're doing is little tiny little things, then it does kind of you are kind of pumping up something that's really not going to be that big of a deal. But I was kind of envisioning when they talked about that they were going to go in a direction that would bring a little bit more to it than just you
know, and instead of it feeling like a pat on the back, like
right, yeah.
You want to feel like you accomplished something. You want to feel like you're killing that first solo boss or killing that first raid boss, and you're like, yes, you know. So I mean, you want to accomplish something, and that's
put a giant statue of your guild leader like in the main city.
There you go.
Everybody can see.
We're gonna have cannon,
riding a cannon,
or we'll have soul. We'll just have a beard statue.
If the guild buffs are good enough, then I wouldn't mind them. I mean, if you're going out onto a raid and, you know, it's a really hard raid or really hard boss mobs that, you know, you're kind of teetering on whether you can pass or fail. And if one of those, you know, guild influence buffs are a good, you know, added DPS or added health or something to the whole raid force, then, you know, something like that could be pretty big.
Yeah.
If it helps you get through the raid.
All right, we got about 2 minutes, so kind of a rapid fire question here, just one.
Exile. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Set. Holo marks. Like it or leave it.
I don't care. You know, I just
leave it.
Leave it.
with anything like that, the guild leader picks it. 50-50 chance whether I'm gonna hate it or like it.
Yeah. I prefer like I know we keep comparing everything to EQ2, but I loved like on the back or on your cape or whatever, having it there. But like these hollow marks, when you see people running around with them, they're like everywhere.
Streeg, like it or leave
it. Good idea and concept. If we could do some kind of like had a little bit more control other than their, what was it, 64, 65 selected options that you can pick from. You know what? If we could put, you know, an imported grievance G, then I'd be all for it. But, you know what? If I've got to go into something like Call of Duty or something and say, oh, here's your 30 different options.
Oh, like the Battlefield stuff.
I don't like those options. Well, that's what you get. So, I could take it or leave it.
So you guys could hate on me for this, but like I wouldn't like the grievance logo as the guild thing, just because for me it's something from outside of the game coming inside.
Yeah, you're right.
The game.
We're hating
sort of
on
breaks
you right
it.
now.
Yeah.
I would turn it off. I would turn it off.
Wait.
You know,
where-
but I could care less about the holo
There we
mark.
go.
What I'd like to see is
his camera's
put it
off now.
put it. What I'd like to see is put it on my back, put it on my chest. I don't want to see something floating above my head. Anyway, that's all we have for tonight. Thank you, Set. Thank you, Streeg. Thank you, Dash.